right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. We are in Acts 13, and we're really not going to talk too much about it. It's nothing terrible. It's an approved chapter. You can go in there safely and read it and not and come away unharmed. So feel free to do that. But to me, it just kind of sounds like a fabricated event where, the apostles are trying to make their case that Jesus is the Messiah, that he's come to set people free and fill them with the Spirit. The reason I'm hesitating is if you read it, it just doesn't sound, it just sounds that way. It sounds kind of, like you're running through the history of Moses and the prophets, and then you get to Jesus. But to me, it doesn't really make the case as well as like Paul's letters do of Jesus being the high priest, the one sacrifice for all, that no more sacrifices are necessary, that he's given us complete access to God. I think Paul's letters do a better job of it, but there you have it. So I am going to segue into, for a moment, the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, where it's a little more engaging. Still familiar stories, the Pharisees questioning Jesus's authority to forgive sins. And it tells the story of this woman who was released from her own nature and blessing Jesus with an anointing of perfume, and the host is upset, saying that if Jesus was a true prophet, he would know that this is a woman of sin. And then Jesus gives him a little teaching that, she's been forgiven. She's doing the right thing. You, on the other hand, are still steeped in your old nature. And you did nothing to show any hospitality to me. And he just kind of silences him. So, I'm going to segue from that into the Gospel of Frank, that being me. And I was watching this video of this guy. His name is Ben Dianda, Dianda, and he was talking with I can never remember her name. It's Liz something. And what was interesting is, he appears to be gay. He has sort of a, kind of like I do, sort of a inflection in his voice that kind of sounds that way. But aside from that, everything he's saying to her about his experiencing the Spirit of God is like almost exactly like my experience. And by that I mean there's not a lot of hoopla. There's not like, I was with an angel and the angel ordered a pastrami Reuben and I got the salad. None of that. And when he's like describing his prayer life, because she's more into that kind of thing, describing his prayer life is just really kind of not very eventful, and it's just kind of silence and just being open to the Lord, and living a life of just unity and not feeling like the pressure to, oh my God, I haven't prayed today, I need to go to my prayer closet, because you're walking with the Lord all day. Where are you going exactly that you aren't already? Yes, I understand there's a power in being quiet and putting everything aside. I'm not discounting that, but people make a bigger deal about that than they should, especially if you're cognizant and continuing all day long to cultivate an ongoing communication with him. Yeah, baby. So he's basically saying the same thing I'm saying, and just the simplicity of just that, and just loving Jesus, and just yeah. In fact, I have to say my own I kind of prefer my own presentation. I mean, he had a nice prayer at the end. He like prayed for people to understand this, and it was instructive. I think a lot of I think his prayer was intended to be instructive. Whereas, I don't really need that, because I'm just walking with the Lord. And I prefer more quietness and let the Lord speak, not somebody else leading me where I already know how and what to do, kind of a thing. And so, yeah, it's just a little bit of difference. I mean, when I say prefer my own, like, he wasn't really talking about what I think is really powerful, is like being the home of Jesus, like being so empty so that he's filling you. I mean, he said it in a different way, but I just kind of like that imagery. Not a big deal. That's a minor thing. But I guess what I'm thinking of is like, I think what he was missing was, for anybody who might have been listening and trying to figure out what's going on, the whole point of being in union with the Lord is to love others and to be evidence for others of the ascendant nature of Christ, so that it could help influence their decision making, of how simple it can be to be united with God and have your life changed. Just that practicality of connecting with others, he didn't really talk about that at all, and I think that's a huge piece of it, because if you look at the Gospels, what's Jesus doing? He's not just flitting about aligned with God and not ministering to other people. The whole point of it is for him to be reaching out to other people. And oddly, that was missing in this guy's presentation, which is kind of curious. Maybe he was kind of self-conscious and he just, it escaped his attention. I'm not sure, because everything else he was saying was right on the money. Right on the money. The This back road here is so dark. You have to like slow down when another car approaches, because there's absolutely no light back here. So the headlights are like blinding. So what do we want to say about blinding headlights? Look out for them, baby. They're there for a reason. And those blinding headlights should be things like Christian churches that act like businesses more than love connections. Oh yeah, baby.